Hey guys, what's up? So this is going to be my second video of my All the Pretty Horses series. And so in this video we are going to talk about the second half of chapter 1. And if you missed my first video, be sure to go back and watch that so you know what's happening. Okay, so let's jump right in. Remember our boy John Grady and Rollins are like, heading down to Mexico. So they're down there like, living the dream, having a good time, just like chilling, doing like whatever they please, But as they're kind of going, they're driving, riding, and they meet this kid named Jimmy Blevins. And so Blevins is like, 16, like barely old enough to drive. Like, there's a little boy we're talking about here. But he has Mercedes. Like, he's got an awesome car, but he's like barely old to drive. So they're like, this kid's a little questionable. Like, what's going on here? But they're like, whatever. And he kind of ends up like driving along with them. He like isn't too hot with directions, and so he just kind of tags along with them. And so they're all just kind of like, they're on like a little parade of cars, traveling down through Mexico. So, eventually they find out a little bit more about Blevins and find out that like he ran away from home, because of his stepdad. So like things just weren't great. And I mean like, John Grady and Rollins can't really like fault him for that because like John Grady ran away for like similar reasons. So so they just kind of like chill. They're like, they're just being boys, and so they're like racing, and they stop at gas stations and they get some liquor, and they're drinking, they're partying, having a good time in Mexico. So they're going, and then like one day, like night, there is like a crazy thunderstorm. We're talking like hail, lightning, like, the works. Crazy thunderstorm. So, Blevins is drunk, okay? So he's drinking, driving, and obviously not a good mix. But anyways, and so he's like, yo, like, we're not doing this anymore. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, yes, it's kind of bad, but like, it's rain. And so they kind of like stop, like, there's like a McDonald's they pull into, and so they just kind of chill there. And John Grady and Rollins are like, okay, like let's wait till the storm passes, and then we'll like be on our way. And Blevins like, nah. And they're like, what are you talking about? He goes, listen here. He's like, there's so many people in my family that have died because of thunderstorms and stuff. And he's like, I ain't gonna be one of them. And they're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm not gonna do it. He's like, I'm not gonna just sit here in my car. And so this idiot gets out, and he like leaves all this stuff and the keys to his Mercedes and everything in it, and he runs. Like there's like some trees nearby, like a little forest, and so he's like going, and he's like running in the forest, and he's just like living out there during this huge thunderstorm. And so they're like, boy, you crazy. But the thunderstorm passes and he lives, and they're like, okay, you're dumb, you're so wet. But then like when the next morning after the storm passes, they realize the Mercedes gone. Like, obviously he left it unattended and unlocked with the keys in it. Of course somebody's going to take it, like, duh. So, oh my gosh. So Blevins like ends up riding with John Grady because he's like, boy, you gotta help me out. And Ron's like, nah, I hate you. And so he like rides with John Grady, and they're like, hey, we want to get this car back after they find it. So they're like just driving whatever, and they see it in this car lot, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's my car. Blevins like, yo, I'm getting it back for sure. And so they're like, okay, fine, like, we'll get it back and all your stuff back. So they kind of come up with this plan. It's like all going well, like the plan. And by the time it's over, it was just like a mess, they're trying to take it, and people are like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing? And it was in the middle of the night, but people woke up, and it was a mess. And so there ended up being lots of shooting and all this stuff. And so John Grady and Rollins are like, yo, like, we aren't even supposed to be here. This has nothing to do with this. We're getting out of here. And so they like hop in their cars, and they're like driving away. They're out. But then we never really know what happens with Blevins from there. So we just know he like, did he go away with his car? We don't really know all this stuff. I mean, he does get his car, but we don't know if he like makes it out of the situation and stuff. Because then John Grady and Rollins, they look, okay, bye, like we're done with you. And so then like in the next few days they like find this car lot that's like hiring. And so they're like, oh, you know, like that's cool. And so their boss is named Armando, and he's like a cool guy and they like him. And so Armando is like immediately impressed with them and like, oh yeah, you're hired. But they quickly find out like, it's not just Armando who's nice, and the fact that they're going to be working with cars, which is like John Grady's life and his dream. Oh no, Armando's like daughter, Alondra, she's something else. And so John Grady like immediately it gets excited about that, and like kind of like crushes on her from a distance. And so we obviously will find more about this in the upcoming chapters. So that is all of chapter 1 from this video and the last video. So be sure to like this one and the last one and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.